I can assure you the bishop will be here sometime next month. By the grace of God, I'll be able to, read your text out. He will be able to answer all your questions. Someone sent us a text from Scotland, and I can assure you your questions will be answered. He will be on the show soon, and he will be able to attend to your questions tonight. I've got this wonderful man in the house with me. I'll get you to meet him shortly. He is the founder of Eastern Africa Magazine. He's traveled the world. He's a writer. He's written so many books. He's a TV broadcaster, a producer, a man of many colors. He was there, part of the celebration of the Queen's Jubilee in the year 2002. He was there, he presented the Queen and Prince Philip with the top 3 Kenyans. He did something very unique, presented the pictures of top 3 Kenyans, where they were at their honeymoon when the Queen became the Queen that very night. He did something so unique that night. It was part of that. He's been through so much. He's got so much experiences. Tonight he's here to bless you with something that happened to him. He battled with kidney failure, but he's still standing, doing really well. What's the story so far? How did he cope with kidney failure? Tonight, it's kidney failure and its treatment on Questions in the Heart. We'll be right back. Advertise with us on Questions in the Heart. Let's help you take your business to the next level. Don't forget, we're live on www.questionsintheheart.com. So when we're live on Sky, we're live online. People are watching us all over the world. You can be sure that people will get to see, get to hear, get to know what your business is all about. We're quite affordable. Get in touch with us. Let's help you take your business to the next level. My guest tonight was nominated by All Kenyans in the year 2009 as the best Kenyan TV producer, journalist, and a writer in the UK. Tonight, if I mention his name, Kenyans out there will go, oh, go, Mark, go, Mark, go. It's an honor to introduce to you. I hope I won't bite my tongue. Mr. Gakaru, did I get that right? Gakuru.
Yes.
Pardon me, Kenyans. I'm really struggling with the name tonight. Mr. Michere Gakuru.
Yes.
It's such an honor having you on Questions in the Heart tonight for the first time. Like I said, Kenyans out there will be happy, to see you. They'll say, go, Mr. Gakuru, go, Gakuru, go,
That's
Gakuru.
true, yeah.
But for our non-Kenyan audience, do you want to just tell us who Mr. Gakuru is?
Could I say that I'm more African than Kenyan in many
Are
ways?
you kidding me?
Because if you ask me where River Oshu is, or where Onisha is, or Jos, or Kanu,
Are you
I'll
kidding me?
tell you how to go there.
Then we should give you an African name. Call you Mr. Wale or
Awale.
Mr. Okafo.
Or maybe you
or
call
Mr.
me.
Obi.
Oh, yes, true. That should do me. Or Olewalu. A good name like that one. But more than that, I've enjoyed. I used to do the kind of work you're doing today,
bless you.
interviewing and doing a lot of TV programs, and traveling all over Africa in different places, Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, Sudan, Europe, all that kind of thing. It was great, I must say, but again, life has its own curves and it has its own way of dealing with us in different ways. But in every situation where you are, who you are, make the best out of what you have.
The most of it.
And I do believe that life has its own destination.
You're right.
You may want to go a certain direction, but life takes you a different way. And subsequently, this is what happened to me in 2008. I had spent, in May 2008, I had spent a weekend editing for a new show called In Diaspora.
Wow.
And we had done a lot of filming with a colleague of mine called George. And we were editing this weekend. I still have an office in Deptford. And it was nice, a lovely day, and everything was going well. Then we went for a meal with the family to a friend who also lives not far from Deptford.
Okay.
But I started to feel a bit
Funny.
odd and very uncomfortable. And I couldn't tell exactly what it was. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. And this particular evening, I started vomiting just from nowhere. And I thought we had just come from a long weekend. I was thinking maybe I had had something that was not right. I had eaten probably Chinese with a lot of oil or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it that seriously to go to the hospital. But in the night, I became worse. My wife told me in the morning when I was preparing to go to work that probably it would be a good idea for me to go to the hospital. And having had what I would say probably abnormal vomiting, in the sense that you vomit everything that you have, including probably bile, I felt that something was still not right. But I was prepared to go to work. She took me to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, hoping that it was just a normal routine check. But when I was there, things started turning from bad to worse. The way I went in was not the same way I felt as I went on staying in the hospital. And when the first diagnosis came in, the doctors told me that it looked as though my kidneys were not working. And they have not been working for a few days. So I said, what? They said, that's true. We don't know what it is. And the process of my illness became alive at that point. So I was admitted in the hospital. After laying the test here and there, they realized that my blood was very, very dirty, because one purpose of kidneys is to clean your blood. It takes away all the toxic material.
And your kidney had stopped working for days.
Yes, but I didn't know. That's why I was vomiting, because anything that I ate wanted to come out, because the blood could not absorb it. So I was admitted in the hospital, and this is where the tale of who I am today started. It's unfortunate that this would happen to a man like me, and I thought so. But it is also a journey that I think if anybody went through, probably it's very difficult to have the opportunity to talk about it. So the doctors came, they did more tests, and finally I was transferred to ICU. Because during the night, my condition kept on worsening. Because as you hear, I was unwell for a few days, but I couldn't realize, probably too busy with other things. Then it's while I was in ICU that they did the first dialysis. And dialysis is an option to the kidneys. It just makes you clean your blood and remove all the toxic material that you may have.
Okay.
So that's what dialysis does. But this particular machine that they use is called hemodialysis. Okay. So, and normally it takes the initial processes of almost clearing every toxic material without really making a replacement, because there are few balances that you need to do in dialysis. I was there for one night. And then I was transferred to King's, a specialized unit, because King's College Hospital is specialized on kidney disease. Okay. So I was admitted. And I must say, throughout this time, because it's the story that I've just given, I was in Queen Elizabeth Hospital for about two nights. And the third night, the fourth night is when I was transferred to King's. It was an experience those days that I thought probably I would die. But in my depth, I knew I will live. That's something that kept on witnessing within myself, that whatever the situation, whatever the circumstances, kidney failure was not going to kill me. I won't tell you where that particular
faith came from.
That faith or that word or that whispering voice that kept on coming to me on this issue came from. And there were many people who were praying for me at this time. The church that I go to, Presbyterian Church of East Africa, the Reverend Kipfadi, and the members of Kenyan community and other friends that I do have were all praying for me. But these are things that I came to know later. And it's at King's on my second day that one of the consultants, Dr. Korn, came and told me what had happened to me.
Wow.
That my kidneys failed because of high blood pressure. And that's the reason why that they stopped, because they kill the kidneys.
So you had high blood pressure,
Yes.
unknown to you?
Yes. I had high blood pressure for quite some time without my knowledge.
Wow, and that led to your kidney failure?
And that led to kidney failure. Now,
Are you saying you weren't feeling any symptoms, no signs, nothing to,
kidney failure related to high blood pressure, you cannot feel or you don't feel any pain. High blood pressure in itself is called a silent killer. And there are many people out there with high blood pressure. They don't know about it.
Unknown to them?
They are not aware because it doesn't show. There's no symptoms.
Wow.
It's not like you have a rash, or if it's not like cancer probably, that sometimes you'll have a growth of some sort that you'll witness. You'll not feel it.
Wow.
You will continue doing your work as normal.
And yet you're dying
and
quietly.
you're dying. So I ask people all the time when I talk to shows like this or talk to people, go and have an MOT. MOT will help you, body MOT will help you to identify those things that may not be witnessed by physically looking at you. Things that are hidden in your blood, things that are hidden below your skin. At least an MOT on your body, going to see your GP and say, look, I need a full blood check to make sure that you are okay. So that's how I came to have my kidney failure issue.
Wow.
Now, let me say this, that the kidney failure is not a good thing at all. I would not wish on anybody, I would not want any of us to have anything like this.
Why are you saying this? What was your experience like during this period? Because for you to come out tonight and say, you know what, I won't even wish my enemy, to go through what I've been through. You must have been through so much. What was your experience like when you had kidney failure?
Whereas I say I will not wish it on anyone, I would say probably it's still better that there's treatment, because there are other illnesses that there are no treatment. So I'm just saying this so that I prevent more of our brothers and sisters
right, because
from going through it.
Prevention is always better than cure, isn't it?
Absolutely. The reason why I'm saying this is because us of African descent are more prone to high blood pressure than other communities. And the reason being that we, first and foremost, take a bit more salt than normal.
Yeah.
We don't, especially men, they don't like going to the hospital. They don't like having checks as ladies do, because ladies, they go for a few more checks than men.
Isn't it?
And at the same time, our lifestyles needs to be checked. Mine could have been caused by the amount of work that I was doing. I was probably taking too much on myself, plus traveling, plus writing, plus all the community work that I did out there. I put a lot of pressure on me. So people need to slow down.
Wow.
Our friends that are out there working 24/7 to make money for themselves and help our relatives back home.
Without resting.
Please take it easy, relax, work normal hours if you can, and you cannot solve the the problems of the world. It's impossible to solve them.
Wow.
So these are some of the things we need to reduce our salt intakes as much as possible. We need also to check our diets. What are we eating out there? Is it helpful to our bodies? Is it beneficial? Does it have the necessary nutrients? All these small nitty-gritties that sometimes you don't look into details on are the ones that may contribute to triggering of things like high blood pressure and other diseases. So I would not wish that anybody would have high blood pressure, and that's why I say if you get an opportunity, and we do have in this country, it shouldn't happen that you'll get kidney failure like Macharia Gakuru. Don't go there, my brothers and my sisters. And the reason why I say this, that kidney failure is the effects it has on the community, the effects it has on the family, the effects it has on the country. It's an expensive illness. And finally, if you don't get treated, it's going to kill you. It will take away all that you have. If you have properties, especially in places like Africa, if you have properties, if you have land, you'll sell all of them, and finally, you will die. So I'm asking my brothers and sisters, let's take caution that you don't have a disease like the one that I've gone through. But luckily, and thank God that He has kept me alive, the technology works. Don't be cheated by anyone. The other thing that I would like to raise is also that sometimes we do say that some of illnesses are caused by relatives. The evil spirits.
By witches.
And witches and some things. I want to mystify that. There's nothing like that as far as I'm concerned. I'm not talking about everybody, but on my part, illnesses are part of living. They were there before, they were there even times of Christ. They were there from the time the first human being sinned, as we know. And subsequently, the consequences of them, it's got nothing to do with sin. So some of the people said, oh God, you have sinned and you have done. I'm under punishment. And I heard all these things, but I would say clearly, the illness has nothing
to do with God or with any evil powers. Okay.
That's my own belief.
That's your belief. Okay. What are the effects you having kidney failure had on you? What are the things you were doing before that you couldn't do anymore? You know, at times people think, well, I'm strong, I'm okay. I can't. Like you said, you were still going up and about doing your duties until, you know, this came on you until the last minute when you started vomiting. Did this kidney failure take anything serious away from you that you thought, oh, if I had prevented this, this wouldn't have happened to me, then I wouldn't have, you know, missed out on this or that? You want to share a bit on that with us?
I'll say that the illness itself initially took a lot from me. What it does when you have kidney failure, and especially if you do go for dialysis, is that it takes a lot of energy out of you. You have less energy in the sense that the hemoglobin that absorbs oxygen is in one way or another reduced because you have more toxic material in your blood than normal. And subsequently, you slow down. You do less things than you did before. But what it has done to me especially is to make me appreciate life.
Wow.
This is the positive thing that I would say that I've realized. It has made me to appreciate life much, much better. It has made me realize that I cannot solve the problems of the world as I wished that I would have, be a solution to them. And I realized that out of what we live as people, you have only so much that you can do, and the rest of it is not yours. The sides that I would say it affected is that some of the dreams and visions that I had or things that I thought I will achieve
You
and
couldn't
do,
pursue them.
I shelved them. And today, even if I'm writing books, and I've written quite a number, if I think, hang on, I need to go to bed,
You go.
I don't say, oh God, I need to finish to
this.
1,000 words. I say, oh, it's time to go to bed. I go to bed. So, and don't take on myself. I don't take offense when I take a day off, or I don't take offense when I let people down. I don't care as much as I did before. I don't mind as much as I did before. I don't worry about what people say as I did before.
The best gift you could have is your life.
I mean,
And
living.
if it's not there, you can't help nobody.
Yes, so it has made me to appreciate that I'm who I am, I'm where I am, and I can do what I can do. The rest of it is got nothing to do with
anybody.
me.
Okay, good. You had transplant done, didn't you?
Yes.
How did you get your kidney donor?
First of all, talk about dialysis, because dialysis, then you go to transplant.
Yeah.
Dialysis is a temporary measure
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
that helps you to wait for a kidney transplant.
Yeah.
And dialysis has its own consequences in the long term. And I'm saying this knowing that there are people who have lived on dialysis for 20 years, 30 years. I think the oldest person that we've had is about 40 or 50 years on dialysis. But again, it takes a lot of freedom from yourself, because you have to go to the hospital maybe about 3 times a week, and each time you're taking about 4 hours. So that's about 12 hours, a full day on dialysis per week. And the inconveniences there in between to organize, to go there, and the consequences of reconnecting you to the machines and disconnecting you. It's a lot of good treatment, but with a lot of pain in its own way, if you compare with somebody who is healthy and having no problem. So it takes away a lot from you. So I long to have a kidney transplant, and one thing that we did that I'm so grateful is that there were so many good friends, relatives, my wife, children that were related to me that are old enough, and also my sisters and relatives who are willing to donate. And no is such a taboo within the African community on issues. When you start talking about donation.
I was going to ask you that tonight. How important is it for us to donate?
Yes.
You know, to save people's lives.
But one thing which is there, depending on how the family setups are, if you have a close-knit family, everybody within that community or that family wants to do something to make your life much better. And subsequently, I didn't have any problem. My dad, my mom, my sisters, my wife were all lined up to go and donate. They did their blood tests, but the process is also long, because you need to do what they call cross-matching. They need to check your blood, whether it matches the donor, and the person who is donating needs to be as close as possible in terms of their cross-match. The tissue or the blood must be as close as possible. So, and a few things that they check the chemistry of the blood and the body, whether it can reject or accept the organ. So there's a few tests that needs to be done before that. So when the right donor is identified, then they need to agree, they need to give willingly, that they are not being forced or being pushed to accept to do the donation. And if, especially in the UK, those rules and regulations are very, very, very strong, and there have been issues that people are willing to donate their organs in the first instance, but towards the end of doing, towards the end where they're supposed to do it, they change their mind. Those things do happen. But I was lucky. My sister was very close. My sister Regina was very close to my match in terms of blood type and also the tissue type. So she was the best match that I had among the people who volunteered to offer their kidneys to me. And there was no problem at all. And again, I say, normally problems will happen if you're in your family or the people are related to you, they don't appreciate what the kidney transplant will do to you. And it's scary to the donor because you don't know what may happen.
Well, exactly.
And that's what a lot of people fear. However, us as Africans, we've got to move forward. We've got to appreciate that if you give one kidney to another person, the reality is we only use one kidney. The other one is just a spare. And when they go wrong, they both go wrong. So by you donating to somebody who is related to you or somebody who is out there that you'd like to help, you're not doing a disservice to yourself. You are actually adding value to people's lives when you do that. And that's why within the European community, we have more people giving donations, even people who have no relationship with the donors. They just there's been stories in the newspapers of people who have just walked into the hospital, said, I want to donate my kidney. It's so special in its own way. You may not know what you're doing, but my sister changed my life.
Wow.
I'm so grateful to what she did to me. And every time I talk about this,
you feel very emotional.
I become very, very emotional because I know what dialysis was, and I know what transplant has done. And not just to me, but to many others that have gone out to say, after all this has happened, we have had out of me a dialysis unit set up in Kenya. We have books, people reading that people can read.
Talk about those books tonight.
Yes, but more so, I would like to talk to our people out there that please, 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 if you have your sister, if you have your brother, if you know somebody out there that may require a kidney transplant, if you are willing, if you want to change life, it's bigger than the salvation that most times we talk about. Because this one affects not just the person that you help out there, but many other that are related to that person. And that person will never forget what you've done to them.
Wow. It's not a culture in an African community to donate. But tonight we're saying, save a life, save a generation, be a blessing, be free to donate. We'll take a break, and when we get back, we'll continue with our chat tonight on Mr. Gakuru's Experience. Don't go nowhere. My lovely attire tonight is courtesy La Poche Designs. La Poche Designs. Please give La Poche a call. You know, someone is around the corner. You want to look good. You know, you want to dress down and look good in our gorgeous African attires. La Poche is the right person to call. We would have La Poche details on the screen before the end of the show. Please give La Poche a call, and you'll be glad you did. Advertise with us, like I said. We're quite affordable. Let's help you take your business to the next level. And if you've got any issue impressed on your heart that you want the world to hear about, you want to come on this show, give us a call. The number to call will be on the screen. You know, we'll bring you on here. We specialize in helping you get your message out there to the world. So get in touch with us. You've got something unique you're doing. You've got a special information you want to share with people. You know, get in touch with us. Log on our website as well, www.questionstoday.com. Leave us a message. We will definitely get back to you. It's nice having you on Questions in the Ad again, Mr. Gakuru. Am I right? You've written so many books, but before we go talk about your books one after the other, in your book you mentioned how difficult it was for you waiting for months for a donor. You want to please quickly tell us how important it is to have a donor ready before, a donor readily available before or when you have any serious health conditions, when you have any chronic condition. How important it is to have a donor ready.
The problem is that diseases, they never say when they're coming in.
I'm coming next week, so get ready for me.
So that's a problem. So it is difficult to do that. But again, is people registering themselves as donors. That's the most important thing that we can have.
Go get registered.
Register yourself. I know that when you are doing your driving license, there's a card that comes through the door.
I remember that.
To tell you that please register yourself in case, because these are things that we don't know. In case you have an accident and there's nothing that the doctors can do, or that is the end or the destiny of your life. I'm saying in a particular accident that you may die as a result of the accident, that they may harvest your organs and be used to serve the rest of the community, people who may be unwell. Please, 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 if that happens, because I know for sure that doctors take their time to make sure that you can live. That's their purpose. But sometimes situations don't allow. Sometimes you are ill to a point that if you lived, your quality of life will be worse off or very, very bad.
And it's just
and I know people will say all sorts of things. God will do X, Y, Z. But there are those moments that, even myself, I always say that there's another quality of life that I would not like to live. It's better to go to heaven rather than staying on earth and suffering and making everybody miserable out of what the situation once find themselves. So if you could register yourself using those cards that we get from driving license, or even just walk to a hospital and say, I would like to register myself as an organ donor. Because when the body dies, 100% it becomes soil. You are wasted. But if you helped somebody else to live or improve their life, you'll have done, probably God will be having more mercy on you.
Even when you that means when you die, you keep on living because
Absolutely.
your organ is still living in someone.
Living in someone else.
So you're not like
you're not
gone.
wasted.
Yeah.
So don't let, if there is no way that maybe you may live a quality life, don't waste yourself. Give and register yourself as a donor, and subsequently people like us will be living because of this, and many, many more. Because I've seen, even after my transplant, I've seen friends, very good friends that I know that have passed on because they didn't have any
organ to use. Nobody
yes.
donated to them. Good evening, Ben. Thanks for calling.
I've been listening to your guest this evening.
Good evening, thank you.
I think I want to thank God for his life, for God healing him, because a kidney problem is not a kid's play and things like that. But the kidney issue have gone to a different dimension with what we hear in these days about people selling their kidneys in these Asian countries. I don't know if you've heard about that or you've read about it. Especially in Malaysia and in India, we have these lots of African people going there to sell their kidneys for big bucks and things like that. So I think with the advice about when you sell one of your kidney or when you give out one of your kidney, it's as like you only have one, you only use one to survive anyway. Yeah. These are the advice that people are now receiving, and like what the devil is using to tell them, oh, don't worry, just give out one. It's like you're donating it anyway, and you still live. And things like that. But I've seen somebody who suffered from kidney problem from a television program, and I feel pity for them and things like that. So with our brothers and sisters going over to Asian countries to sell their kidney for big bucks and things like that, and with the stuff that he said about, oh, you only need one to live, sometimes it's falling into wrong ears and things like that. And if I only need one to live, then I could sell one and make big money, No, it's really, I don't know what advice you have to those that are selling, not donating. There's nothing wrong with donating, but when you sell, I think there's something quite wrong with that.
Wrong
That's
conceiving.
my contribution to the program.
All right, thank you so
Thank God
much,
for your
Ben.
life, my brother.
Thank you so much, Ben. We appreciate that. What have we got to say to that people travel, our African fellow travel to go and sell their organs?
It's, I think it's a moral issue, really, in my opinion. I mean, there are so many things that happen that are not right. But again, it's so difficult sometimes to regulate. And that's why in UK and European countries, they say it's a free gift. You give to someone at no cost. And you can
God gave it to you freely.
Absolutely. And you can change your mind. That's why the processes of transplant and organ donation, if it's a live donor, then they take their time. And if you want to donate your organ in case of an accident or anything like that, it's a free giving that you're doing. So I don't support selling myself at all. I believe that somebody should do it out of their willing heart, out of their conscience, that they're helping someone else to live.
Wow, wow. The question tonight is, how much did we pay God to give us those organs in the first instance? You know, it's a free gift from God. Freely you were given.
Yes.
You should be able to freely give. You know, why travel to go and sell your organ when you're here and thousands of people are in need of the organ you're traveling to go and sell?
Yes, true.
God gave you freely. Why won't you be a blessing and save a life freely as well? I think people should have a rethink on traveling abroad to sell their organs. You have written books on your experience, on your battle with kidney failure. You spoke on people going for MOT. I will have us come back to that briefly. But before then, you want to talk to us briefly on these lovely books and what people should, you know, expect to benefit from grabbing a copy and reading.
I always say that living is an opportunity not to die. And I say that wherever you are, whatever you do, it's an opportunity for you to do something. Moses is a very good example in the Bible. When God appeared to him, God asked him, what do you have? He didn't ask you, go and get something else. He had only a rod, and he was asked to drop it and all sorts. And that became his miracle working tool. And subsequently, by having a kidney failure, I thought it's also an opportunity to share my experience with others so that they do not go through the same the same thing that I went through. So these books, I started writing them immediately. I became slightly better.
Okay, let's take Dupe's call, then we'll continue. Good evening, Dupe. Hello?
Hello?
Good evening, thanks for calling.
Good evening, my name is Dupe.
Okay.
I just want to appreciate your program today.
Okay.
Very, very educative. Thank you so much for the gentleman that came in, and thanks for the good work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dupe. We appreciate your call. She's just appreciating you for educating us tonight.
So the first book I wrote was, actually they just came out in December, is Kidney Failure and High Blood Pressure. This is my own experience. What I did is that I did work the 3 books. There are a series of 5 actually in total, but the first 3 books that have come out are all accredited by professors from King's College, Royal London Hospital, very experienced people from Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and Transplant Link, and people of knowledge. Because I didn't want just to write books. I wanted to write books that will affect other people. So I worked and wrote my own experience in collaboration with the professors that deal with these issues. Because I felt I needed to write credible books, books that will help other people. And when they read, they see how I was, how it happened to me, and they reflect themselves on themselves, plus the advice of the doctors. So the first one is kidney failure and high blood pressure. And this talks about what I went through, how I discovered that I had kidney failure, what happened, the gossip of the nurses in the hospital, It's in here, some of the things that they said when I was very, very ill and I couldn't help myself.
Wow.
Some of the things that I saw in the hospital. You go to the hospital and sometimes you are telling a nurse, oh God, please switch off the lights for me. And they ignore it. They tell you that they have so many other, so many other patients to look after. I overheard that, so I wrote about it.
Wow.
So that you as nurses, sometimes you can change some of those behaviors. When you are a patient, you are in so much pain sometimes, and sometimes in difficulties. So that involves what happened to me in the first instance. Then I did my life as a dialysis patient, and this one gives accounts of the things that I saw as a dialysis patient. It's not a very, very good read in terms of the experiences that you find there, but I am sure that it's also an experience of many people who go to the hospital. There's a lot of experiences in different forms. You may sit there and your neighbor passes on, and sometimes it's not something that you would like to see, but these things happen. So I've written quite a lot of that, of what I saw and experienced, and the people that I knew that passed on when I was with them or when I knew them. And it's a totally different experience sometimes to talk about death and life in the same room.
In the same room. Let's take David's call. Good evening, David.
Yeah, hi, Gakuru. It's David Mwanaka calling from Basildon.
Good evening. Thanks for calling. We appreciate your call.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to say thank you very much, Gakuru.
We can barely hear you.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak up, please?
I know you very well. And also for encouraging Blessed to be organ donors. Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. We appreciate your call. You're saying something before
Yes,
I take this text
and
message.
so that's on
the second book.
on dialysis.
On dialysis.
So please, 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 there are a lot of people you might be knowing out there that are going through dialysis. It would help them to understand and just appreciate.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
Yes.
You learn from someone's experience so you don't, get into the same trouble.
That's true. And then finally, I wrote, of this that have come out, I wrote a book on transplant and organ donation. This tells a lot about what happens, what are the procedures, and not just that, it tells the story of me on that theater table as the doctors did their work, because I worked with them to produce exactly what they did to get my kidney where it is today, from my sister to me and the processes that happened in between. So it helps you to understand what are the processes, what type of kidneys, how is it done that, it is taken from one person and then to another person. It's done with the help of Susana Fernandez. He's a consultant surgeon. So she checked if what I had written was exactly what she did. Okay. And I'm very, very appreciative for the work that we did and worked together.
Okay. All these books will be available from tomorrow on our website, www.questionsintheart.com. Log on our website, www.questionsintheart.com. You'll be able to, grab a copy of this book or give Mr. Gakuru a call. He would be able to, get these books across to you. Someone said, well, dear mom, we appreciate your program. My question for the guest is, does he believe in divine healing?
I do believe in divine healing, and also I believe that it's not for everyone. We don't have equal faiths. We don't have equal experiences. And even when we hear of divine healing, because I've seen quite a lot of it and I heard a lot of it, and I've even written books about it, there are people who will hype or tell you that you're healed when you're not. So you need to test the spirits if there's anything like that, and go and see the doctor, because the doctor will produce what I would say medical evidence. There are people who live with a condition, and because it has gone dormant, then you think it's healed. For that time, yes, but it's good if you believe in divine healing, as I do, also to make sure that if you've been told or you've experienced it in a church, go and get tested again. Don't just accept from the word go, because sometimes you hear, and I've known a friend of mine who went to South Africa for healing, came back. He never lasted 2 months. He passed on because he believed he was healed, and never came for dialysis.
Wow.
And we used to have a lot of discussions and arguments on it. Look, keep on dialysis as long as you can.
Whoa.
So these are some of the things.
Wow.
Could I appreciate a few people who helped me along the way?
In 2 seconds.
Yes. My wife, Lucy, I want to say thank you, and our children, Mobiwa, Jiro, and Gakuru. I totally appreciate the work that you did. My sister, Joki, thank you so much for donating your kidney unto me.
Wow.
It changed my life. My church, which stood with me, Presbyterian Church of East Africa, and Reverend Kifadi, thank you, church. You are all involved in this, you know.
Wow.
My fellow Africans from all over, you know yourself, Femi and others, the former High Commissioner, Emmanuel, you know yourselves. I appreciate you, your prayers, you out there, the doctors and the nurses, Turi and others, Mina and others, that you know yourselves.
Thanks
you
to you
did
all
a good
for keeping Mr.
job.
Gakuru alive. We
Thank you.
appreciate you. You want to know how to, avoid kidney failure? Grab a copy of these books. Log on our website, www.questionsintheheart.com. Our time is far and well spent. I'm sure you've learned one thing or the other tonight. We appreciate your coming on Questions in the Heart. You want to catch up on our past episodes? Please log on www.questionsintheheart.com. You want to advertise with us? We're quite affordable. We'll help you take your business to the next level. Leave us a message on www.questionsintheheart.com or call our mobile number. And you have a message for the world like Mr. Gakuru. He is sharing his own testimony tonight. You want to come on this show to share your own story or to be a blessing to God's people, get in touch with us. Leave us a message. We'll definitely get back to you and have you come and be a blessing to the world and impact lives. To my production crew tonight, you are the best. God bless and increase you. And till I see you before I go, don't forget, summer is coming. You want to look good. La Poche is the place to go. La Poche Design is, a good designer that will bring out the beauty in you. Visit La Poche Design for your lovely summer attires. And you would get back to me to say thank you for telling me about La Poche. Till I see you same time, same station next week. MOT your body. God bless.